we just needed a name. I didn't plan on making it into a big business or anything. We were doing stuff out of our house, but when I was selling stuff at like these little, Christmas fairs, people were like, "Well, what's the name of your business?" And I'm like, I don't have a name. It's just me. I just made everything. So after we did that first event, people wanted to know the name of the business. We just came up with, it needs to sound, I make French pastries, and it needs to sound fancy. So my daughter's names are Nia Bella, and my second daughter's name is Cora Bones. And so we figured, if we only had to change one letter from Bella and then change the second word to Cora, then it wouldn't make that big a difference. It already had like a little bit of a following from me doing farmers markets and things like that. So it wasn't super difficult when we opened. We already had some level of business and a little bit of notoriety, but doing those first couple of years in, again, craft fairs and stuff, really just during the holidays. And then I was already selling wholesale to some restaurants, just making bread out of my garage. The bakeries have always been more geared towards, this is what I want to bake, and if you want to buy it, you can come and buy it, and let's hope that works out. Ultimately, when I was growing up, I wanted to work in a bakery like this, and there wasn't one in El Paso. It doesn't mean there wasn't good bakeries, but I just wasn't interested in learning Mexican baking. I wanted to learn this type of baking. And so when I first opened, a big part of it was, well, I want to give people who want to do this type of stuff the opportunity to do it, and that's what we've done. And we've had a lot of people over the years come through doing things that, like, the French wouldn't necessarily do. A lot of times just making pastries bigger and more sort of ostentatious than they would have, just because we're in America. That's what Americans tend to want, is an enormous croissant filled with a lot of chocolate versus a French pain au chocolat, which is very petite and has a little bit of chocolate. So it's always just been, that's what I've liked making. In one day we did 16 different items, whereas in the first few years we were open, we probably maybe did 16 brand new breakfast items that year. And sometimes the pastries aren't as amazing as I would always want them to be. I think having a bunch of happy employees and happy workers who really enjoy coming into their jobs and doing what they do, rather than being so stressed out to the point of death all the time, is a lot happier of an atmosphere to be in.